I'm not staying by the dead bodies so that I can get eaten. I'm moving. We need to move camp somewhere else so that we can have some safety. Number 2, they did not leave anybody as a lookout. Everybody just sleep around the campfire like this is just some type of camping trip. No, we need a lookout. What if there are predators? Now me, I'm also scary. So I'm thinking, what if there are creatures or like supernatural beings or something like that? I need somebody to, like, I'm not sleeping then. That's just all it is. I'll sleep in the daytime. I'll watch us at night. Why, hello. It's been a minute. I got my hair done and don't actually feel like having to take my hair down. So I am going to just leave it up with it wrapped up like this. Please ignore, if you can, that flashing light in the background. Just ignore it. It's not important. Because today we've got a movies with Mila. And guess what we're going to talk about? I finally watched Yellowjackets. Woo, y'all. I see why people were talking about this show. All right, premise of the show. It's a soccer team, a girls' soccer team. They are going to nationals. They are going to take a plane to get there. The plane crashes. The team, it is a disaster, and they end up stuck and having to survive in the wilderness. And it's about what they have to do to survive. All right. So you're watching the show, you meet the cast, and let's go through some of these cast members. Let me tell you about, the actual actresses and actors that are in it. It's phenomenal. And the girls on the team and what they were like before they actually ended up on the island in the wilderness, and then what happened while they were in the wilderness. And then you have a time skip, a time jump to 2021, I believe it was, and what's going on in their lives now, like the aftermath. Okay. So first off, all these people got problems. Every single one of these people got problems, which is not, unexpected. But some of it, I'm just a little like, yo, this person is a little woo, like, y'all not watching this person a little closely, got a little like, hey, a little red flag there or something next to these people, particularly Misty. Misty gives me real cuckoo cuckoo vibes from the beginning. We're watching it, me and my little friend, and I was seeing how excited little Misty was about everything. And I think she's what do they call those? Maybe like a trainer or something. Like they're not actually on the team, but they help out with the team. And I was like, ooh, she real excited. I said, she gonna be a killer. She gonna eat somebody because she's real excited to be a part of all of this. You've got Shauna, who's got her little best friend together. The girl's name is Jackie, okay? Jackie is kind of a little Miss Popular. She's team captain. She's not the best. That's what the coach says. Coach Ben, maybe? I think it's his real name. But the coach, he's like, you're not the greatest player, but you can bring everyone together. So there are these wonderful analogies that are made between team, acting as a team, like what it takes to be a team. But also like they talk about wolf packs at one point and how a wolf pack can take down a animal like a bear, something really big that should be able to defend itself as long as the pack is big enough and they have like a strong leader, a strong alpha. So I'm like, all right, I'm getting this already. I'm already picking up the clues that you're dropping down. Who gonna be the wolf? Jackie has a little boyfriend. Little boyfriend's over at her house. They're doing a little hanky-panky stuff, which I'm still like, again, I'm like, so this was her parents didn't know he was there. So we'll give him a pass on this one. But she's got her little best friend, Shauna. And Shauna's like, oh my gosh, they're getting ready. They're talking about going to school. Jackie's like, we both got into Rutledge and, we're going to go together and all this other stuff. And Shauna's just kind of like, yeah, like the way Shauna keeps looking at Jackie, I was really like, okay, we're going with the whole like unrequited love thing between the two of them. But obviously not. They get there, y'all, allergies, forgive me. They get to school, they're doing scrimmages, they're winning their games, they're doing all of this. There's this Allie is there. So I'm guessing that this, as I think about it now, because again, I've only watched the first 4 episodes, I'm guessing that Allie is going to be like a little, what do they call that, where they give you a hint beforehand? but to what's going to go on when they actually get there. So you get Taisha, right? Like, and Taisha is a go-getter. She don't care. She's here to win. She's got her eye on the prize. She's got one thing that she cares about. And Allie is kind of, she's been promoted from JV, junior varsity to varsity. She's going to be going to the nationals with them, but she chokes up. Okay. She choked up at the states. They don't want her to choke up at nationals. And Talia's like, yo, like, let's just freeze her out. Like, we already know she's not going to follow through. We already know she's not going to be able to help us. So we don't have to pass her the ball. Just don't pass her the ball. We need to focus on the goal. We need to win. She'll be all right. And so you get Nat, who is kind of like this alternative, kind of grungy. She's got the white hair and all that. She hangs out with her little punk goth friends. And that's like, this is not okay. You know, we find out later that Nat lives in a mobile home. She has an abusive father who's beating on her mom, beating on her, like all this madness. And we find out something else that happens to him later that, you know, she is traumatized related to guns. But Nat is all like, this is not okay. This is not right. You know, it's not all right to just, you know, basically throw someone to the wolves because she's not, you know, she didn't perform as well as you thought she should. Like, she's still a part of the team. You also have Miss, I think her name is Van. I think it's short for Vanessa. Maybe her name is Marie. Oh, it's Marie. Marie is also like, I just don't feel comfortable with this. I don't feel right about it. We find out Marie got money. She got money. Okay, so when they're going on this little trip and they get stuck in the wilderness, Marie's dad buys them or lets them use a private jet, a private plane. And I was like, y'all should have flew commercial, because if y'all had flown commercial, they would have went and found y'all a couple of days later because y'all would have been lost. And ain't no commercial jet gonna be just out there because that company gonna want that money. So they would have found y'all had y'all flown commercial. But Marie's like, I feel uncomfortable about it as well. We see him later on in the show. Marie obviously has money. She's at this, you know, very nice table, dining room table, but she has a maid that comes in and gives her breakfast. She's eating all by herself. And she also has to take some type of prescription. So she has something going on that she needs a prescription to help her balance out. Marie is uncomfortable with the situation as well. And I believe it is Van who's also a part of this conversation, maybe. One of them is all like gung-ho. Like, they're just like, it is what it is. Let's do it. We also have Miss Shauna, who's like not really into it. It's just like, you know, we're a team. Let's try to work this out together, okay? So that is the plan. They do a scrimmage. Allie is still kind of not on her game like she needs to be. Taisha is like, is her name Taisha? Yes. Taisha, I don't actually know if it's Taisha. I'm going to call her Taisha. Y'all know who it is if y'all watch it. She decides that she's going to take her on one-on-one. She's like, it's okay. I'm a teacher. Like, you've got to be tough and you have to fight for what you want. So I'm going to go up against you and you better come with it. And so Allie steps her game up. She's like, no, I'm not going out like that. Like, I can play. I'm going to defend myself. Girl, why Taisha trip this girl and break her leg? Like, bone coming through the leg. So everybody's feeling a little down and out because they lost a team member. And everybody's like, oh my gosh, we're supposed to go to nationals. And so Jackie tries to get everybody up into that team spirit. She's like, you know, I'm team captain. I'm here. I'm going to rally my troops. I'm going to bring you all together. She ain't really all that great at being a leader, though. We flash forward, still in 1996. They go to a party day before they're supposed to leave for nationals, and Shauna, drunk, confronts Taisha because she's like, you tripped her on purpose. You took her out and made sure that we wouldn't have to deal with her in the game. And Taisha's like, I didn't do it on purpose. You know, I didn't mean for her to get hurt like that. Like, I mean, she tripped her on purpose, but she didn't mean for her to break her leg and all of that. It was just supposed to be like a, you know, like a toughen up, I guess. And so then again, here comes Jackie and she's like, we're a team. And she makes them stand in line and say something nice about each other. And they all kind of have a little rah, rah, rah. Okay, we can come together. But like, you can see that obviously this group is fractured. They fight a lot. They talk about how Nat's on the drugs, because Nat is already on drugs. She is already drinking. They talk about how Taisha got these control issues. She, you know, just wants to win and she's willing to do whatever to win. They don't talk too much about any of this. Oh, there's Laura Lee. Oh, poor Laura Lee. I know Laura Lee ain't gonna make it because she loves the Lord. She likes to pray a lot. And I was like, oh, girl, if the Lord was really there for you, he would have took you out in the plane ride, because sis, you not gonna make it. Not like this, girl. These some unless you got that old school colonial manifest destiny where it was like, oh, if someone's in our way, it's the Lord's decision that we take them out. Unless you got that kind of energy going on, girl, you ain't gonna make it. So Laura Lee is also there. Van is there. Her and Taisha got a thing going on, which I was like, okay, that's what's happening there. Because I was like, oh, okay, whatever. And I think that's pretty much, there's a couple of other characters who, we'll get to this when they actually crash the plane. But there's a couple of other youngins there. But that's pretty much like all the stuff that happens before they crash the plane. They get on this private plane. It's fantastic. They bring some of these other JV folks there. Oh, and I already talked about Cuckoo Kachu Misty, so we good there. Y'all, this plane go down. It is a disaster. People are flying. People are like, their oxygen masks are coming down, And I was like, oh, see, yeah, that's how it's supposed to be. Just strap in, wear your seatbelt, put your oxygen mask on yourself before you try to put it on someone else who might be struggling. It didn't matter. This whole thing was a mess. I was like, again, fly commercial. Pretty much all these people are dead. There's a good chunk of them, though, that are still alive. Which, once we jump, and the show goes very clearly back and forth between now and the past. Because I was like, in the present, you see Shauna. Shauna is interesting because our first shot of her, she's over here pleasuring herself to pictures of her daughter's boyfriend. And I was like, this is gross. But she's a stay-at-home mom. She's a housewife. She's trying to do the whole thing. She's cooking and cleaning for her family, but she's clearly dissatisfied. She's very intelligent and she's just clearly dissatisfied with what she's doing. We get Taisha, who's now running for a senator. We've got Miss Natalie, who's on the drugs, and we find her in rehab. We see Miss Misty, and Miss Misty works at not a retirement center. They're like a care home for the elderly, for seniors and stuff. And she's still cuckoo cuckoo. This one lady is complaining. She's on a hunger strike. And, Miss Misty is like, you need to eat. And then when that girl don't want to eat, Miss Misty decides that she don't need that morphine. And she just doesn't give her morphine. So she's like, don't fuck with me. And I'm like, all right, girl, you special there, aren't you? So they obviously still have all these problems. But I'm like, I don't see half these people in the present that I see on this island. I thought a lot of them died in the plane crash. No, a lot of them survived this plane crash. So I'm trying to figure out where all these other people are. That is my main concern. We already know that they take Miss Thing out. Miss Marie don't make it because she out in the first 5 minutes we see she out the game. Okay. And we also see that they clearly have no problems eating people. So obviously that's where this is going, but how do we get there? So I know she don't make it, but now that I'm seeing the discrepancy between the people who I see are alive now in the present and all the people that was alive after that plane crash, I'm like, how many of these people did y'all eat? Also, though, the people who take out Miss Marie, I believe it's Marie at least that gets taken out. I haven't got to that point yet, or zoomed in on the first episode to see for sure. It looks like there's about 8 of them total, which again, I was like, there's a lot of people left. And even in seeing just some of the little blurbs about it further on, they say they end up splitting into different warring fractions and resorting to cannibalism. But it seems like there's 8 in this little group and that they have on these animal furs and animal skins. And it's giving me real that co-opt of the whole goddess spirituality movement. It's giving me a lot of that with one of these people as the leader, but I'm not sure who the leader is in this group, in this fraction. Misty is there. So I'm anticipating that whoever is in this group is the 4 individuals that we are currently introduced in these first 4 episodes that are still alive, and maybe Travis. I still feel really confused about the dynamics about this because you have adult-wise, you have Misty, Nat, Taisha, and Shauna. Those are the only 4 adults that we've seen so far from the island, other than Travis, who don't make it very far. Episode 4, he out. And so I'm trying to figure out, like, I guess maybe they were in one little fraction together. Jackie and Shauna, the little best friends. Oh, well, back to that night, that night before they get on the plane. Turns out I was mistaken because Shauna ain't interested in Jackie, or maybe she is. I'm still not there yet. But she is interested in Jackie's boyfriend. She asked Jackie, oh, he's a virgin? Oh, this, oh, that. Yeah, that's because she's been sleeping with him. So that's where all those looks of longing and all of that were going on. That was a different little situation. But they have little quarrels. Not quarrels, but just they don't agree on everything. And so Jackie's really looking for Shauna to back her up. She's like, back me up. You're my best friend. Back me up. But Shauna's just like, if I don't agree and I don't think it's the best decision, I'm not going to back you up. Case in point, their crash. Misty don't come through. Misty is first aid CPR, know all the things. She out here trying to save everybody, helping folks wrap things up so they don't bleed to death. I believe his name is Ben. Or is that the dead man? Their coach, hold on a second, y'all. Yeah, Mr. Ben, their coach, he has an issue. He loses, part of his leg is crushed. And old girl Misty just go cut it off. She's like, oh, you're going to bleed to death if you don't lose this. So she cuts it off. And then later on, one of the things I have noticed also with Miss Misty is that she just be wandering around doing stuff in the background. And I just be like, how are people not paying more attention to what Misty does? Because Misty concerns me. I've been concerned with her since she was overexcited on the sideline. And Miss Misty just be in the background doing stuff. So they were having a little time around the fire after they had crashed and they had gotten out some of the survivors. Also, though, Van has an issue with Julie. Her name is not Julie, is it? Jackie. Van has an issue with Jackie because Jackie kind of left Van to die because they thought they couldn't get her out. Shauna was trying to get Van out. They thought she was going to burn up. But Van miraculously gets out. She escapes and now she's mad. She don't get along with Jackie because Jackie left her to die. Okay. So Jackie's honestly having some issues with everyone because she's still trying to do this whole, I'm the team leader, I'm a leader, I'm helping everybody out, but like, they're not super into it. And she's just not, she really doesn't have the expertise. The coach said that she had influence, which is like great, but when you're in a dire situation that revolves around survival, like influence only goes so far. We need skills. Okay. We need actual skills. And the other thing is she doesn't seem to be able to have that really important leadership skill of being able to understand when you have strengths in one area and you don't, and you let the people who do have strengths in that area make decisions, and also being able to say like, hey, I don't have to be the leader all the time. Like knowing when to step up and when to like be like, no, you know what? Someone else has a better idea. Let's go with that. So her and Taisha, obviously they kind of start butting heads a little bit. And this is when Jackie and Shauna start to have a little fraction going on because Shauna sides with Taisha because she's like, she sees a lake. She's like, we should go to the lake. Now me, I'm like, first off, y'all had this plane crash. There's dead people. I'm not staying here. They stayed there overnight. I was like, I'm not staying here because number one, you've got dead bodies. Dead bodies means predators. Predators could be interested. They're going to want to come over here. They're going to want to eat these people because they didn't bury them to the next day. I'm not staying by the dead bodies so that I can get eaten. I'm moving. We need to move camp somewhere else so that we can have some safety. Number two, they did not leave anybody as a lookout. Everybody just sleep around the campfire. Like this is just some type of camping trip. No, we need a lookout. What if there are predators? Now me, I'm also scary. So I'm thinking, what if there are creatures or like supernatural beings or something like that? I need somebody to like, I'm not sleeping then. That's just all it is. I'll sleep in the daytime. I'll watch us at night. Because had somebody done that, had somebody stayed up, Miss Misty has stayed up. Well, maybe she was supposed to be the one that was watching, but I just think she just a little special. She wandered off to go to the bathroom. She finds, because they're like, oh, someone's going to come find us. Don't worry. Like there's a signal. There's the black box. It'll send the signal. Somebody will come find us. She finds that black box with the transmitter saying where they are. Van and someone else is walking off. I'm guessing they're going to the bathroom and they're talking about how, oh my gosh, I'm so happy that Misty was here. She really helped us. She saved us. We wouldn't be able to make it without it. Now Misty feeling like, finally, I've been accepted. Finally, people like me. Destroys the locator so that nobody can find them now. And I said, how did nobody hear that? Like, if I hear some loud banging, because she's like messing this thing up. If I hear some loud banging in the middle of the woods after I done just had a plane crash, like, I'm awake. I'm not going to be able to rest enough to not be able to hear that. So how did nobody hear this? And I was like, y'all should have had a lookout. Not her, because she is not right. Somebody else, okay? And it would have been me, because I wouldn't have been asleep. I would have been one eye open this entire time, because I don't trust people. I have trust issues. And also, I don't do the woods at night. Also, when there is an incident, I immediately go into crisis mode. And this is crisis mode for this. So she destroys it. So now they're stuck. Now they're truly stuck. Like, someone probably would have went and found them had Misty not been on her Misty stuff and destroyed their little locator. But they didn't have anybody watching. I just had so many concerns. I was just like, have y'all not watched any horror movies? Have y'all not watched any survival movies? Like, I understand this is 1996, maybe it's not as well known, but like, what? So many things, so many mistakes. The fires, attracting predators. You got to put your food up. Like, you just can't do these things. Like, y'all don't read? Okay. Whew. All that to say, I'm going to come back and do a part 2. But this is part 1, which is really like the background, halfway through what's going on there. We'll get some more into what's happening once they make the decision and we see that Shauna has sided with Taisha, and now her and Jackie's relationship has become fractured, and now they are already beginning to splinter into different groups. I'll be back for part 2.